Hey there, it's Mandy Brasser here. In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can easily track all your opt-ins, your thank you pages, your landing pages, where you've got that promoted in one central place so that you can easily find out what this is all doing and if you need to make any updates. So let's get into it. So in this video, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about what we call an opt-in register, and this is really a central place that you can track all the key information about the different offers that you have out on your website and in the business world, online or offline. So I want to talk to you about this today, and if you want to get a copy of this, there'll be an opt-in down below. We're happy to send it through to you. We will make some adjustments and you'll get the latest version of this register so that you've got the latest one to work with. So you can see it's really a simple spreadsheet, but I can tell you it saved us a few different times. Now, particularly if your domain changes or an offer changes, you do not want to offer a particular offer anymore, then you can certainly make those changes. But unless you're tracking it one place, you're going to have to go into a bunch of campaigns and review your website, see where you've actually got this offer out there. So it can be a little time consuming. So let me get stuck into it. And actually, I'm going to add a new column in here, and this is how easy it is. You can just simply add it in and tailor it to what you want to specifically do. Now, the first one is the opt-in name, and you can see we've got a bunch of headlines up the top here, so I'm going to go through each of those and relate it back to your email auto-responding tool that you might be using, as well as some other tools at the same time. So your opt-in name, typically in this spreadsheet, this register, we call that what you would internally call that. Now I'm going to make up, we've got this free XYZ report. So this is what this particular opt-in is called. Now what's the status of that? Now we're going to say it's active. And this is a really great way to track all of your opt-ins. So if you've got some old ones, you're not out there promoting it anymore, you can come in here and see, okay, this is inactive, for example. So a great way to do that. The next one is your email autoresponder. So what are you actually calling it? What type of opt-in is it? What's the campaign name? So if we head into the one we're using, which is Infusionsoft, so we can jump in here and you can see there's two web forms here. So you may actually have the scenario that you have multiple web forms that are basically promoting the same offer. Now there might be some scenarios that you need that. It might be overkill in one case or the other. So it's completely up to you. We're just going to do one example in this instance, but you basically can create a new line or list multiple web form names if that's the only thing that's actually changing. So in this case, I want to go and pick up our free XYZ report standalone. So we're picking that up from Infusionsoft. And what is the opt-in type? Now this is where we've suggested that you put this in. Again, it's all optional. You work out what's going to work best for you. And this is just a single opt-in. You may also want to track your order forms in a register like this as well. We've got a few clients who do that, so that might be something to keep in mind. Okay, so we've got the web form name, we've got the type of opt-in, single opt-in, we're not taking them to a different offer or anything like that. And what's the campaign name? Now, I've just created this dummy campaign, but what are we calling it? It's called new campaign. Oops. Okay, great. Now, if you're using something like lead pages, an external hosting area that you're creating your landing pages, this is where we would put something like, I think ours is called mandybrasser.leadpages.net / then it would be free, I don't know, XYZ report. And obviously I've just made this up. This doesn't even exist. So, sorry, I've jumped ahead. That's the URL. And what are you calling it? Now, I don't know about you, but our lead pages account has a bunch of different offers, split tests, a whole bunch of things going on in here. So what have you actually called this particular landing page? We're going to call it free XYZ report. And you might be thinking, oh, we're just going to be doubling up a whole bunch of information. Not necessarily. You may have multiple entries for the same opt-in, like I mentioned before. So this can really help you keep track of what you're actually calling all of these things. All right. So that's what it's hosted in Lead Pages or whatever tool you use. Typically, we then go and promote our own domain as opposed to sending traffic to Lead Pages. So ours would be streamline4success.com.au/free XYZ report. And we would stick that there. And of course, there's nothing going to be on there, but that's just an example. Now, the thank you page URL. Now, this is really important to know where this is going to be maintained in your particular setup. Now, a lot of you, if you're using something like Infusionsoft, when you double click into your web form and click on the thank you page, you've got the option to have a hosted Infusionsoft page, which you would obviously jazz this up, or you can go and override it with a web address, and you can put that web address in here. A big kind of component to watch if you are using Lead Pages or other tools, sometimes the thank you pages are managed in those tools, so and they override whatever you have in Infusionsoft. So just make sure you're really clear where it's going to be maintained. Whether you want to add it as a column, you can certainly do that. But this is where you'd actually put in that URL. Now in this case, we're just going to use the Infusionsoft hosted one, hosted Infusionsoft, for example. So there's no actual URL. It's going to default to this guy here, thank you page, and I'm completely fine about that. Now this one here, this sort of final one we've got here, where are you promoting this? And this is really, really important. I know we actually had a contact come to us, and pretty upfront. We're doing this as you guys are as well. We had a prospect come to us and say, I've come across an odd page, and actually we thought we'd removed this particular offer from everywhere in the universe. However, unfortunately not. So it's important that you track that, and we get emails from clients probably every month or so saying, hey, this prospect has tried to register for a webinar that we haven't run in at least 6 months. Can you please help us? And it's because those emails are out there, or an affiliate's got a link, or there's still an offer on your website, or an offer in an email or anything like that promoting that particular offer. So if you can, I would highly recommend start keeping track of where you're presenting your different offers. So let's just say we're presenting it on our main website, on the home page, as well as website sidebar, and then any external website, any particular URLs on your page, affiliates, who's got the links, because that'll really help when you go to changing this status from active to inactive. You're no longer promoting this particular offer anymore. Then it will mean you can come over here and actually look at, okay, well, where do we actually have to remove this offer from certain places? And then finally, comments, any additional comments that you want to make about that particular offer. So look, as I mentioned, this is really up to you how you want to tailor it to your business, but we have certainly found it incredibly helpful for us to keep track of all of the different opt-ins. What do they feed into? So you don't have to go through all of your different campaigns and try and work out which opt-ins are in each campaign and where do they go, and where are we directing people to those particular offers. So I really hope that's been helpful. As I said, it's Mandy Brasser here from Streamline for Success, and if you want this download, as I said, we're probably going to make some tweaks. As you saw, I just made a tweak then, but we're probably going to make some tweaks further to what you see in this video. So if you want the latest version, just scroll below this video and sign up, and we'll get it out to you as soon as we can. All right, thank you.